Morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I did a pork shoulder roast. They're usually for picnic. I roasted it. The only thing I did with it was I rubbed it down with some oil and I just put it in the oven and I just cooked it until it was done. He's going to start in again. And this is what I have left. So what I'm going to do today is make pork sandwiches today. But what's unique about it is I have made peach ale mustard. Yes, I'm saying peach ale mustard. And they said it goes excellent with this. Well, I want you to know it did, because when I cut the roast, after I cut the skin off and I cut thin slices, instead of making a gravy, we put the mustard on it and it had an excellent flavor. So it does go very, very well. And I'm going to put an apron on before I get dirty. So we're going to have sandwiches today and soup, and I'm basically made a simple tomato sauce which can be converted into a soup, which I happen to like very much, although I have different ones. This one I just had a lot of tomatoes and I just said, you know what the heck, I'm just going to cook them down. Now if you want to know how to make this tomato sauce that you can eat as a soup, is you need 5 pounds of tomatoes, the 8 tomatoes, and you sit there and you quarter them. Just quarter them, skins on. I'm talking about quartering them. Put a tablespoon of water into a pot, put 5 pounds of those tomatoes in there on a low flame. Cook it on the lowest flame you can until they're soft and mushy. Then you blend it all up in a blender, put it back in the pot, take a stick of butter, throw a stick of unsalted butter in it. If you use salted, go ahead and use salted butter. And then you just peel an onion and throw the onion in there. And that's it, and cook it till the onion gets soft. I was cooking it yesterday. I turned it off and let it sit overnight, so now it's ready. So I'm going to make an attempt to cut this. Into some thin slices so I can sit there and do what I have to do with it. Okay, that is a bone there. I have to just feel all the bones out in this thing. And you're gonna have to cut this really, really thin. If you cut it too thick, it won't be good for a sandwich. I had my son cut it, but it seems he cut right where the bone was, and the bone's here to here. Do I have a bone here? I have a bone here, so it's gotta be across the joint here. Okay, we'll go this way. See what I can get off of this. So this has gone for a lot of meals, but I think soup and sandwiches are just the right thing to have today. I went out shoveling snow this morning and I salted, and after I swept and shoveled. After I make these sandwiches, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip the rest of the meat off in chunks. I can always make a gravy and put it over rice if I wish. Then I'm going to take that bone and throw it in the freezer. Then when I'm ready to make another stock, I'll use that bone with vegetable peelings and I'll have a pork stock. I will be right back. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm back.
was hitting bone. Yeah, so you gotta be careful. I know this front hit the whole United States, so I hope you're safe where you're at. I am staying indoors. I'm not doing much. Except going back out there and shoveling if I have to. If we get rain, it'll wash it away. Then I won't have to do any more shoveling. Okay, come on. Oh, and by the way, when women cooked roast and stuff, you know who did the carving? Not the woman, the man. The husband actually carved her, you know, the older in the house. It's usually the husband that does the carving and serves the meat. And now, don't you find that interesting? The men will plant the seeds and do the vegetables, and she goes out and she harvests them, right? The man will go out hunting, dress the meat, do what he has to do. Then she cooks it, but then he serves it because that's his work. He hunted it, so he's going to serve it. Yeah, I remember that. My father did the serving. He did the hunting, he served what he hunted. And it wasn't just my father, it was the fathers of the neighborhood, because at that time there were more families instead of broken families that we have today. There was a mother and a father and children, and we all knew our place. When our sons were growing up, the one who did the carving was my husband. I didn't. I think that's more than enough. I'm going to rip that off. If I don't end up eating it all. So I did a plain pork roast because I wanted to see that bread. No, that mustard is really, really good. And I have to say that mustard is delicious. I can't wait to make more of it. It doesn't make a lot, but God is it good. And it's called peach ale mustard. And I will show you how to make that when I'm canning again. Now here is the russet French bread that I told you I was trying to change the recipe into a sourdough. I got it. And I was very, very happy that this one came out so nice. Oh, a spoon. I forgot to get a spoon. There are some traditions of the family that are really nice, like, you know, when the man does the carving, and that we're told to eat what's on our plate or go to bed hungry. I love that rule. Like I tell everybody, I'm not a short order cook. I'm no short order cook. You're gonna eat what I fix so you can go to bed hungry. This is a dark mustard, but it is so good. See, it's a really dark mustard, but that comes from the ale. Which one did I use? Oh God, Guinness's. I had to think, what did I use? I used Guinness's because it's a good ale. It has good flavor, which I'm not gonna lie about. And with the peaches, I just didn't know how it was gonna come out, but it said, this is excellent with pork roast. So I said, I'm gonna do a simple pork roast. I didn't even salt it. Like I said, I only rubbed oil on it, and I cooked it till it was done. Now, if I have any cheese, I'll put cheese on this, but Danielle told me all the cheese is gone, so I am not sure. I'll have to go and check. make a big sandwich. Of course, I'm gonna make a big sandwich. I always make a big sandwich. I don't believe in hope looking for it. I know people think that's crazy. What do you mean, hope? Most people put a slice of bologna or luncheon meat and a cheese and that's it. My thing is I want to eat. I don't want to look for it. Because then you get mostly starch. Now, the mayonnaise I use is called the cooked mayonnaise that I've showed you how to make. The other ones that just put lemon and stuff and they don't cook it, it has to stay in the refrigerator or it separates. It's got to stay cold at all times. This one I made, I sat it out for hours to see if it would work, and it did. It held together. It was really nice. When you make those other mayonnaise, be aware that they do separate. They will not stay together in the summer. You have to keep them in a really, really cold spot. Red onions. I'm putting slices of red onion on this. And I also ripped out the inside of the top so when you set it over, you won't have that problem of, let's see, do I have it on the right point? Yeah. The sandwich gets too big. When you rip out the inside of it and then you place it over after you place everything on it, it supports it from falling out. Now, what I'm putting here is Texas candy, better known as candied jalapenos. I know when you think of jalapenos, you think hot. They're really not hot. They have a little heat at the end of them after you chew them, because when you put them in, they're sweet. They're excellent on hamburgers, sandwiches, and stuff. I have no complaints with these. And if you have children that don't like hot, they should be able to eat these with no problem. But they do have to sit because you are pickling them and making them sweet. So once you can them, you've got to let them sit a bit. And I'm just going to put lettuce on the sandwich, and that's pretty much it. Oh, but this pork is good. People, young children, are so paranoid about eating food unless it comes in a package. I was in my strawberry patch. I'm going to call it that because they get part of the yard. And this young man had never seen a strawberry on a plant. So I picked one and said, "Here, have one." He said, "Can you eat this?" I said, "Of course you can eat this." He said, "But it's not in the package." I was dumbfounded. When you think about the things I put in my mouth, and I survived, you know. I was shocked when that was said. That tells you how bad things are. Unless it comes in a package, children don't think it's healthy to eat. I used to climb up in trees and pluck the fruit, and careful not to irritate the ants or the bees, or they'll sting you out of the tree. We went to a court, civil court one time, and I showed my sons. He said there's ants on the cherry tree. No, the blackberry tree. I said, be careful that you don't irritate them. Let them get off the fruit because they're eating the same way we are, and share it with them. And they enjoyed the blackberries, the they had. I said, just have to learn to eat with nature. Now you might think this is a big sandwich, but believe you me, my family eats. I won't eat that much, but my sons, my husband, they could eat. They would eat that with a soup, not counting everything else I serve with it. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Here is another sandwich that I'm making, but I'm gonna be serving it with tomato soup today. So, take care. Bye-bye.